Hi everyone, happy Saturday. I thought I would do a video where I talk a little bit about some changes I have planned for the channel this year. Some of them might be controversial, some of them might not be, but I'll talk about that in a minute. While I'm doing this, I'm going to attempt to pencil shade in this page, which I've already based. It's Out of a Million Kittens by Lulu Mayo. I'm going to go ahead and say we might not get very far on this simply because it's hard for me to talk and have thoughts while I'm coloring this. And I don't have the spoons, if you will, if you've heard of the spoon theory. I don't have the spoons to really color and then just use the footage. So, but we'll try a couple things, and if I don't get very far at the end, we might color in, some of the bigger pieces, and then I can finish off camera. I also did want to do a front-facing video because I have one of those planned for this week already. I had a fun start to the year yesterday with a very minor procedure, but it had to be done in an outpatient surgery, and I'm fine. Everything's fine. No pain at all today, actually, from it. So, but it was funny, and a lot of it I was able to, make kind of funny. So, I kind of want to share that with you later, sweet. All right. So that is what we're in. I've already based this with watercolor. I wanted to try out the Gravy landscape watercolors, which are actually a very nice curated set. I liked these colors a lot. And then I used one of my Dreamland watercolor sets. I can't remember what this set's called, but it's got bioluminescence in it and calm are the two I think I mostly used. I think I might have used the tropic a little, just to give some glittery effects. You can see it in particular on the little dragon thing right there. And yeah, I think that's it. We are going to be coloring with brute furners. And let me go ahead and pull what I think will be, we'll just start on the greens. I think that is the most of the leaves in here. I think that'll be easiest. And I think I grabbed the right ones, hopefully. Anyway, I hadn't used my Brute Furner set in a while, so I figured we'd do that. And why is this desk shaking so bad? Stop. It's the camera, not the desk. Sorry about that. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'll put each item kind of down in text. I'm going to talk about it a little bit. I will also summarize my plans in the description, kind of as a TLDR, but I am going to try to keep this as short as I can. So, but one disclaimer before I get started is that I've been coloring now for 7.5 years, and I've had this channel for 7.5 years. And man, I don't want to use that one. I always use a art glove. I can't remember if the Brute Furner is really smeary. And let me grab my makeup brush, as I can't remember how crumbly they are. So a disclaimer on this, I have been running this coloring channel for about 7.5 years, obviously taking a lot of breaks in between that. I don't think I'm tired of coloring, but maybe, at least right now, it's not the forefront of my mind in terms of hobbies like it's been, which I feel like, 7 years, almost 8 years is a pretty good run on that. And I'm going to start doing this while we are chatting. And make those glitter too in the middle. We'll just go over it with pencil for now. Like I said, it's not going anywhere, but being kind of my primary hobby for the past 7 years, where things just went so bad. Make sure. I'm trying to give you guys a better camera angle. me scoot over a little down this desk. There we go. I turned off the auto white balance, so hopefully it doesn't hopefully it is, first off, I darkened it a bit because everything was looking like that, like pretty washed out. And I also wanted to give you a little bit better angle so you're not just seeing the pencil itself. Okay, so when I kind of hit my burnout period the last few months, I hardly color at all, which is not unusual when I go through, kind of the little mental health breaks that I need. But I feel like it's been a lot harder to come back to it in the channel because I'm still in this like fight or flight nervous system mode, and I think my needs, the things I want to do in this channel are changing a bit as I feel like they should be a little bit at this point. And like I said, given just how long I've been doing this, and also society and the way we view media online and social media has changed a lot in 7 or 8 years. And so to kind of keep things a little refreshed for me, and also to start being a little more mindful of what's going on in the world, I kind of wanted to make some changes. Now, my disclaimer here is that all the things that I have been doing on the channel, I'm not bad-mouthing them. I'm not bad-mouthing anybody in particular that does these things. I've been doing a lot of this stuff in the past. Boy, my voice sounds grumbly this morning. I've done a lot of this in the past. Friends of mine are still going to want to do some of these types of videos and some of these types of things. And the content creators that use this stuff, I am not bashing them. I am not saying that you shouldn't be doing this. I'm not trying to tell anybody else what to do with their choices, their money, their channel. For a lot of these content creators, they either work part-time or they do need, monetary supplemental income from their channel. And so sometimes I'm jumping a little ahead of myself, but basically I'm just saying, like, this is not me going, nobody should do this anymore. Ick, ick. I think it's terrible. I just need to do what's comfortable for me and what I feel comfortable with doing on the site. And so don't, if we have any discussion in the comments, that's great. I'm going to probably want some feedback from all of you, which might influence what I'm doing, but, I won't guarantee I'll 100% change my mind because basically I have I have the ultimate decision here. So with that said, if we're having discussions in the comments about stuff, please don't mention any other channels by name. Don't call out anybody else that might be doing some of these things. Because again, I'm not doing this to say I feel like everybody should be doing it my way. I'm just explaining what I want to do differently and what my thoughts are behind it. So, wow, you can't really see that color at all, can you? All right, now that I've gotten that out of the way, where's my stickies? I'm going to try to put these on text on the screen as I'm talking about them. The first thing I'm going to do, you see my little scribblies here. First thing I'm going to do is add reduction. Some of the well, this has just been one of the biggest things I've been thinking about is I feel like everything is just nothing but ads, and it's probably going to get worse if it ever gets better. And when I started this channel and I got enough subscribers to monetize, I, went ahead and had it run ads at the beginning, mid-roll ads, whatever. I didn't really pay too much attention to it. But the past couple times, I also have a ad-free tier on YouTube because I personally hate ads, and I should have been a little more self-aware of that and like, wait, other people probably don't like ads either. But I, had them let them run ads because at the time back then it wasn't as bad. And now I had to sign in a couple weeks ago and I managed to sign in without having my main account on. And oh my God, it's terrible. Like I just there's more ad than video unless you're on I'm on one of my long spiels about something. And it's gross and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of like we've got more ads than ever on Instagram. Streaming services are trying to bring back ads. They're trying to put ads on in cars, on refrigerator screens. Like they're trying to create either a subscription model or an advertising tier for everything. And I know everybody's tired of it. I'm tired of it. And so the big thing I want to do is right now I'm eliminating mid-roll ads. Um, and I may eventually just demonetize the channel. I'm hesitating on that for two reasons. One, if I take out all the ads, how does that affect, I know what's going to happen is I'm not going to get a lot of views. And I'm trying to decide whether that's what I want. And I do kind of my own sharing and pushing, or if I just want to keep it like that. And another thing too is I am fortunate to, I use the money I get from this to buy like more supplies and stuff. Like I don't make hardly any revenue on YouTube, which is fine. But there are a lot of content creators that rely on this. And if something were to ever happen to my current job, I would need to probably rely on this a little more. And I don't know how hard it would be to monetize it if again, if I demonetize it. So, and again, that's why I was saying I don't have any grief towards the channels that use mid-roll ads, that do you will not see me doing any sponsored videos. We're just going to make that clear. I think at this point, I'm not even going to I don't get them hardly anymore, which is fine. But back in the day, a lot of artists wanted to send you a free copy of their book to review. And it's not necessarily a sponsorship of the video, but, kind of in that same ballpark. And I thankfully have not had a bad experience at all with that. The last one I did was, a really neat book, and I didn't mind at all. But I'm just tired of ads and sponsorships, and I'm tired of it for me, but for those content creators that are using this as their main source of income or social media, I say, go get that back. Go do what you need to do. So, again, not saying everybody should do what I'm doing. It's an ick for me. And right now, if I can reduce the amount of ads you've got to see in a day, then so be it. I don't want my algorithm to be, I know it'll be affected anyway. And like I said, ultimately it may just be I decided to demonetize, but I don't know how much trouble it would be to monetize back. So there's the first one. Live streams. I do want to do more live streams. I seriously thought about doing one today and on this, but I want to get my thoughts out. I want to keep it shorter. And right now, even fun social interactions are battery draining for me. And every time I get off a live stream, I'll be like, man, I had a great time, but I'm also exhausted. And I didn't really want to do that today. I also kind of came up with the idea last minute, and I know, not as many people would know about it. Plus, my allergies or something is really aggravate me, so my voice doesn't sound that great this morning. So for all those reasons, I didn't do that this time, but I would like to do more because I want, shouldn't come as a shock to anybody, but I have a lot of problems with being social, being friendly. Um, I always thought it was just because I was an introvert and like when and plus right now I have so many interactions at work. I'm on so many meetings that by the end of the day, I just don't feel like talking to anybody for even fun things. And I so live streams have been kind of hard for me because I just don't have any battery left to do them. But I would like to channel myself to do that. Channel myself. Encourage, challenge. There we go. Challenge myself to do that more this year. More hopefully, like we all know I'm kind of a negative Nelly realist type, and I'm sure we'll talk about some heavy subjects on them, but I would also just like to connect with people more outside of my job and try to see if I can build up a little more, be a little more comfortable in my own skin, so to speak, about that. So more live streams. I'm not putting any high level pressure on myself for this. I'm not saying it has to be this many live streams, this many live streams. No, we're not doing that because my brain is not going to let me do that. So we're just going to keep it loose. I will try to schedule them in advance, or at least tell you. That can be hard as my day-to-day, like, battery changes, but we will do our best. At the very least, you may have to be used to me saying we're going to have it, and then me saying, oh, no, change my mind. We're not going to be able to have it, rather than just springing it on you last minute. I guess that's one of those things. Let me know in the comments what you would prefer. And Kim and Loretta, if you're watching this as mods, like, they're kind of my voluntary mods, and they do a great job. But I also am not going to, like, expect them to be on just waiting all the time. Like, I'm not going to expect that of anybody else. So if I have to mod things myself, that's perfectly fine too. It's always a fun time, and I always appreciate them doing that. But I don't want to be like, I don't want to keep bailing on other people that feel like they shouldn't feel like they have to be there, but if they feel like they have to be here. Other than live streams, of course, live streams, well, I need to try to make my live streams shorter, and I need to make all my videos a little bit shorter. Last week I had a good long, like probably the longest video I've done in a long time, huh? Where I caught everybody up on the last few months, and while I was glad to kind of get all that out, it was pretty exhausting. I also know that there are a lot more coloring channels. There's a lot more other hobbies and things that we're all interested in that out here on YouTube and social media that maybe weren't there 7 years ago. And I don't want to take up a ton of time in people's day that may, because I'm just as guilty of this. I'm having a hard time getting to the few channels that I watch consistently, much less trying to find new channels and new things. So I'm going to try to shorten my videos, including this one, though I'm not doing a very good job. We might just keep this to 30 minutes. Hey, when I say shorten, I'm talking like 30 minutes, 45, I would like to hit 20, 30-minute mark, and then, some may go to 45 minutes, but no more hour and a half long ones if I can help it. Or if I do, they're very few and far between, which doesn't usually seem to be the case with my coloring chats. So, again, just let me know what you think. They're not going away entirely. I know some people do really like to be able to just turn those on and listen. And some of my videos are going to change too. So like I'll have a coloring chat like this and I'll talk about, the other hobbies in a minute. I might be doing something else. I would like to do some more front facing videos this year because sometimes I just have a funny story to tell and I don't it's a lot of pressure to pull out a book and pre-color some on footage so that I have something to put a voice narration with. Like some days I just want to be able to sit down and tell y'all something funny. Um, so that will be part of it. But overall, shorter videos. I would also like to start doing what I'm going to do today, those kind of TLDR summaries in the description. I thought about this being a rare moment I could use AI, but I still, unless it's work related, I still feel pretty ick about that. So we will see. If they're shorter videos, I should be able to just summarize them myself. I do let YouTube control my subtitles, and hopefully those are coming across pretty okay. I try to give it time to generate some of the subtitles before I publish it, because I know for some people watching that's been a thing before, and I love subtitles when I watch something. So, um, but I'll also try to just put a description. And honestly, if you show up for a few minutes and you just want to read that and go on with your day, I completely understand. Again, this is supposed to be, I'm wanting a cozier, less pressured vibe about this channel this year, and so I want to make it easier on other people as well. And yeah, yeah, speaking of which, I wrote down cozier vibes on one of those stickies, and like I don't know what that means. I don't know, like, if I can put, maybe light a candle, do something. I don't want to, obviously lighting's an issue. I need a bright light to color most of the time. Unless I'm doing something like a color by number or something. And maybe in those cases I could dim the light a little. But I mean, one of the things is I also want y'all to be able to see what I'm doing and I want to be able to see what I'm doing. So I don't know if I can necessarily do that as lighting. I'll have to look into that. That is something I'm thinking about. I just haven't quite got to yet. All right. I have other video ideas that I don't do as often that I would like to start doing. So recommendation videos. I kind of did one of those before Black Friday, and I got a little off the rails because I was trying to show a bunch of stuff, and it stressed me out. And I was trying to write down all the links and stuff, and like, I think I'd like to stick to, maybe like quarterly recommendations. Give myself a quarter to try some stuff. Maybe I haven't tried in a while in my stash, and give you guys recommendations, particularly if they're like sales or a sales event coming up. I want to give more information about the supplies that are out there without necessarily just talking about the supply itself, like talking about how I interact with it better. Um, and like I said, I might do those quarterly. I don't know about monthly for sure right now because I'm splitting the difference in like what type of hobbies I'm in, but I might do that. If I come across a good sale on or a good budget buy on something that I feel like would be a good choice for people, I might put it in the post tab more, kind of like Lindsay the Frugal Crafter does. Though I don't know if I will scour the sales as much. But if I do come across something that's a good deal, maybe I could talk about it, my review of the item in the video and then give you the link to that. I just, this is tying into what else I'm about to say, so I'll just talk about it in a minute. But yeah, more reviews. The reviews are going to be there, but they are going to be very condensed and quick and to the point. I tried to do some color pencil reviews. I even tried to do a and I mean we may still do it, but I even tried to like go through our pencil collections together, me and Tammy from Tammy Colors too, and that fell off the rails. It's a lot of work to set up like the right kind of swatch sheet. Are you going to show how they blend? Are you going to show this? Are you going to show that? So I think I'm going to try to maybe a good compromise would be to put together like a Google Doc that gives a little more detail on them, and then the video just hit the high points. That might be the way to go. I haven't 100% figured that out yet, but I'm going to do more recommendation videos. Don't you dare come over here. All right, let me get a coffee. Reef Cheap's been very clingy the last few days. Okay. So here we're getting to kind of the final. These are probably the more controversial changes I'm going to make. And you're welcome to comment, in the comments, but I have a certain feeling about some of the stuff that was very different than has been in the past. But that I think I have other ideas for videos and ways to do things that will still scratch that itch, if you will. The one thing that really got me to thinking about this all was this really the idea of overconsumption. And I know y'all are like, Michelle, that's been around for years. You obviously have not had a problem with that before. Why now? And I don't know what to tell you, except it's just an ick now. I think after this past year, seeing like doing more research into the economy and how things are currently, seeing so many layoffs, so many people that can't find a job, can't find a job that pays them enough for to live, and B, find any job. Seeing the issues with student loans being high, debt, people are going more than ever into debt, prices going up on everything, tariffs, this idea of it's a multifaceted issue, right? Like it's not just overconsumption. Like I feel like I got to buy everything out there because it's cute and I want it, and in my subconscious, it's going, you need it. And I don't really need it. We all know that. But this past year, and in the past, I've said, I'm not going to tell people how to spend their money. And that's still true. However, after seeing how things have changed just in the past year, and, when they took away SNAP benefits and so many people were hungry over Christmas, and I've been donating a lot more to my local my rescue shelters because they've seen a drop in people being able to adopt this year, or donate because just the economy sucks right now. And before you tell me, well, the stock market's fine. No, the stock market is held up by all the companies buying AI products from each other and investing in each other. It's like 10 companies, and if that AI bubble ever pops, it's going to tank. It's going to be bad. So, sorry, I don't believe that. And I have my own goal where I am not going to buy very much. I'm not going to say a no buy. My brain right now, if I tell it not to do something, it's going to do it. So we are not going to say no buy to my brain right now because, well, I could go with the purple. It's an easy one. So I am not going to sit here and formally announce a no buy, because for right now, my brain instantly says no sir or no ma'am. We'll make you buy everything. But I bought a lot of stuff the last few years, and I know part of it, and again, I do it. I've done it. I'm not judging anybody for doing it, but I do a lot of buying because of stress and because I like a good deal and stuff like that. And I've been buying for other hobbies and then not really playing those, doing anything with those while I've been coloring. But I've still been buying too much to color um, in my lifetime, right? And that recommendations video kind of got me thinking about that too, because I was trying to show everything, and I have a trunk, a cedar chest trunk full of those little wooble crochet kits. Um, I have a ton of art supplies. I've shown those before in an art supply room tour. Um, I have a ton of coloring books, and it's just the last few months not doing coloring as much has really kind of changed my perspective on things. And um, I have Legos I want to put together. I would love to just get into some watercolor art, even if it's just taking and um, playing around with watercolor on a piece of paper just to flow around some color. Like, I just want to be able to do, I don't know, I've really moved away from technical coloring and technical hobby stuff to more of a just doing what makes me feel good and makes me feel relaxed because of all the anxiety and stuff I've talked about. So I kind of want to get back to that. And between that and just overconsumption, like I know I have way too much hobby stuff. I am not going to try, I'm going to try to limit my purchases this year. Again, if I say no buy, if I tell my brain no buy, it's not gonna like that. Apparently, I just can't tell my brain to do anything. But I I think I bought a few Steam games on the Steam Games sale, but I would like to get back to playing some video games more. I have plenty of woobles to crochet. I have some non-wooble projects that I'm interested in. And I went and bought some yarn, but I'm really proud of myself that I didn't buy like a ton of yarn. Partially because my mom gave me all her own old yarn stash, and so I have plenty. Um, and so in saying all that, one of the big things I'm not going to be doing next year or this year, I guess, is I'm not going to be doing supply hauls. Um, I know there's been controversy again about them in the past, and it hadn't really bothered me just till this year. Like I said, just the way things are, I am trying to reduce my overall consumption of things, and so I don't want to make things harder for other people. I also feel like it's a bit out of touch for me, especially like I'm like, oh, I'm not going to tell people, oh, these Caran d'Ache luminance pencils are the best and you shouldn't color with anything else. Not that I would ever do that anyway, but I'm not going to tell people push things like $400, $500 pencil sets myself when I know there are people out there struggling to pay their basic bills and to find housing that they can afford. And it's an ick. And with, again, the prices of things going up so bad, tariffs and everything over the past year, I just don't feel good about it anymore. So it's kind of a two-edged thing. I am not doing any more art supply hauls. And plus they're a ton of work, like laying them out, swatching them, talking about them in the videos, putting all the clips together. Like I, again, am going for a cozier 2026. That's less pressure on me. So um, that is hand in hand with that. And that's where the recommendation videos are going to kind of replace that, where I'm just going to talk more about specific things, focus more maybe on budget-friendly items. If there are higher price point things that I think are good choices, like I still will talk about those, but like right now, I think Karen Dash products are great, but I do not think they're like $400 great. And I don't know. Anyway, so no supply hauls, but in place we'll be doing some recommendations. And I know it's a big deal because people do my supply hauls, and I think I'm not the only one, get more views than any other type of video on the site. And so, but again, we're going back to I'm trying to create a safe space for people this year. And it's not necessarily about views. It's not about monetization. So, I want to change it. And so if it means I get fewer views overall, then so be it. If it's a safe place for people, hopefully eventually they will come and enjoy what's here. So there's that. Right coinciding with that, my book buying is definitely going to go down. I know I've said that before, but like I really mean it this time. My biggest problem has been the indie authors out there, like the independent published artists. I want to support them so much, and I know a lot of them, this is their job, this is their income, and I want them to be able to produce books and art and doing what they love. And I feel guilty because if I don't buy their stuff, because that's going to hurt them overall, and I think that's one of the problems I've had. And But in lieu of that, what I thought I could do instead is, I think I'm going to use a black glaze gel pen on these little dots, little spots. What I'm going to do instead is make a bigger push to recommend. I might have some book recommendations when I do the recommendation thing. I'm going to do videos that I'm not going to show collection videos either. Again, just don't feel like that is where I can be a good steward for people right now in this economy. And it's also not, it's not, I don't want to tempt myself either. So I'm not going to show full collections like I thought I was going to. Like, no more full book collections, no more, at least not this year, no more coloring supply, or no planned coloring supply collections. However, I will be, maybe I will be showing book flips, but I'm probably going to reduce those down to at least monthly because, again, my consumption of books should drastically be going down. And then I may have book recommendations, like I may do a video of my favorite 5 cat coloring books or my favorite Hannah Carlzone books or something, and then also show like my favorite watercolor supplies and like show you, some of my favorites, but maybe show you the ones that I got that I didn't like as much. So more for just being able to help everybody be, I guess, a little more cautious of a consumer. So I'll still be doing those types of videos. And then for what was I going to say? For books, because I'm not going to be buying as many books. My goal is to go back to the books I have of these authors, artists, and leave better reviews on Amazon. Leave more reviews. I think if you can't purchase a lot right now, I think that's probably the next best thing you can do. Have recommendations on older books that you have of theirs. Leave recommendations on Amazon so that the algorithm puts them out there. And so that's how I'm going to show my support more so in 2026, I guess. And the last thing I'm going to say, I know we're just going to aim for 45 minutes, is I might, and again, feel free to, say how you feel in the comments, but I mean, really, unless a earth-shattering observation, rocks my world in a different sense, I'm probably not going to waver from this. The other thing that might not be as popular is I think I want to talk about other hobbies, and that just goes hand in hand with what I was saying about, I think these are for the little flowers. Yeah. I think that goes hand in hand with what I was saying about Like the last few months, I haven't been coloring hardly at all, but I've been doing a lot of crocheting. I was messing around a bit with Power Wash Simulator the other night, which is a video game. That's kind of a soothing, relaxing type game. And I'm having a lot of kind of breakthroughs, and I'm having to go through grief counseling. I'm stuck in this like nervous system overall, like just heightened, won't calm down. I'm trying to focus on things that don't add any extra pressure. And sometimes that just includes other hobbies. I found these little diamond painting kits that I like that aren't, I'd eventually like to get the bigger kits or work on the bigger kits, but I'm not ready for that because that's just too much right now. And I think this is going to be a year of like really, now there's, I strongly suspect I am autistic in some shape or form, which may not surprise anybody on this page, um, who's been watching me for a while. But I feel like there's going to be a lot of good, overall net good changes in my life this year. And like I said, ultimately, the best thing I can do for myself is to just do what I want to do and not necessarily what I need to get more views. So you might see me do a diamond painting on here. You might see me chat into face front on the camera while I'm crocheting something. I'm probably going to show like what I've crocheted for the month, what I've done for the month. I don't know if I'll share gaming because that's just kind of one of those things. I don't want to talk while I'm doing it. I just want to game. But, you might see a few other things. And I'm already kind of doing that on Instagram, is posting other things as well. So that'll kind of be the other thing. Anyway, that's a lot. And I do want to finish editing this video, but we did get, actually, let me get the little owl guys, if I can. If I can remember the colors. I think they're these. 24. These swatch that I have, I don't have a good printer swatch. I need to find one. 117, 21, and 24. Okay. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's, all in all, quite a drastic change from what I've been doing in the past. Part of it is just making sure, my channel stays relevant to like current, maybe not current trends, but like, I'm not completely clueless and not reading the room when it comes to things like the economy and, we're probably all in a budget right now and everything costs more, and I feel like this is what I can do to acknowledge that, things are a problem. And I need to do better too, because you just never know. Again, if the economy gets worse, if there are more layoffs, things like that, that might affect me. And I worry about that a lot. And so, and we have some big purchases we've got to make. We need to get a new car. We need to decide, like, depending on how my job goes at work, we were considering moving, but now I am not convinced that is the right move, and so we may need to invest more money in the house for renovations. So, and I want to be able to continue donating to my rescues and things like that, and so the best thing for me is to cut back on my spending. And so, again, I'm not going to say that and then do everything I can to try to get y'all to buy something on here, because that just feels gross to me. So, but yeah, I mean, if you want to, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you don't want to, that's fine too. Like I said, I know we're about to get back into, I guess, your basic week after all the U.S. holidays and everything, and I'm not ready for it. I know probably all of us aren't ready for it. But yeah, it's just been, Oh, and other videos I might share too. Like, I've been really into getting art from like independent artists lately, and so I might show you things like I have rather eclectic taste in art, so I might show you like when I get my walls redecorated from the stuff I picked up at the conventions last year. I might show y'all some of that. Um, I'm still going to hype individual artists here. Y'all know I have some favorites. I'm definitely still going to hype their books. I'm not an Amazon affiliate, so if I do a link in the description, and it's to Amazon, I'm not getting anything from that. Just I haven't been able to be an Amazon affiliate because of my job. So, but 45 minutes ain't bad, I guess, in the long run. It's a start. We'll get there. Or yeah, 45 minutes. But yeah, let me know if you want in the comments. I will put a TLDR in the description of these. And like I said, I've got another video planned where I'm hoping I can kind of tell you guys about the experience I had in the outpatient surgery center I was in yesterday. And I'll probably tell you all about that later this week. Might just be a face-to-face video. It's whatever I feel comfortable with. And I don't know yet what I'm doing next. We'll just, like I said, it is trying to not overpressure myself right now. So, thanks for watching. I hopefully will finish this maybe here in the next couple weeks, and I'll share this finished picture on post and on Instagram. So, thanks, and bye for now.